Love X Revenge. 15 accountants stood in the glossy marble hallway like an army of defeated soldiers. Their laptops were still warm, their brows still damp, their pride in pieces. The Millionaire CEO, Damien Hart, known for turning collapsing companies into gold, had given them all the same task: review the acquisition papers for Lattice Corp before he signed the deal at midnight. Every single one of them had failed. Damien paced in his office, hands behind his back, jaw clenched. His empire spanned half the country, yet one rushed acquisition threatened to destroy everything he'd built. Investors were waiting, journalists were sniffing around, and the deadline was eating away the little patience he had left. Useless, he muttered, tossing a folder onto the desk. 15 experts, and not one can tell me why this deal feels wrong. His assistant peered in. Sir, your dinner is here. The delivery girl is waiting. Tell her to leave it at the desk, Damien snapped. But the assistant cleared his throat nervously. She refuses to leave. She says she needs to hand it to you personally. Damien frowned. A delivery girl refusing to leave the building. Fine, send her in before security drags her out. The door opened, and in stepped a young woman wearing a faded red delivery jacket and worn-out sneakers. Her hair was tied in a messy ponytail, and rain droplets clung to her sleeves. She was clearly exhausted, yet her eyes were sharp, observant. Mr. Hart, she said, catching her breath. Please don't sign the papers. For a moment, the room froze. Damien blinked twice. What did you just say? She stepped forward, still holding the insulated food bag. Don't sign the Lattice Corp acquisition. The assistant nearly fainted. Damien narrowed his eyes. You have 10 seconds to explain before I call security. She set the food bag on the table, zipped it open, and pulled out, not food, but a stack of documents. I'm not here to deliver dinner, she said quietly. I'm here because my mother begged me to get these to you today. She's one of your junior accountants. Was one of the 15 who failed. Damien stiffened. He remembered the woman, a quiet employee in the back rows, never drawing attention. She worked on the numbers day and night, the delivery girl said. But the system crashed before she could send the final report, and she fainted from exhaustion at her desk. Before the ambulance took her, she told me, get this to Damien Hart. Don't let him sign anything without seeing it. Damien slowly approached the table. What's your name? Lena, and you're telling me the entire team missed something your mother found in the 11th hour? Lena nodded. Yes, sir. And if you sign that contract tonight, you'll lose everything. Damien's heart kicked against his ribs, not from fear, but from curiosity mixed with a tinge of dread. He gestured to the empty chair. Sit. Show me. Lena opened the papers with careful fingers. Damien sat beside her, his eyes scanning line after line. She pointed to a section buried deep within the financial statements. Here, she said, Lattice Corp's debt doesn't appear on the main balance sheet. It's been shifted to a shell company. The accountants noticed inconsistencies, but the shell company's name doesn't look connected. My mother traced the directors, it's the same people. They're hiding liabilities. Damien felt a chill crawl up his spine. He turned to her sharply. How did your mother catch this when 15 senior accountants missed it? She doesn't rely only on software or shortcuts, Lena said softly. She checks every detail manually. She said numbers talk, if you're patient enough to listen. Damien ran a hand through his hair. If this is true, then Lattice Corp is worth half the price. Maybe less. Worse, Lena said. They're days from bankruptcy. They want you to rescue them, and fall with them. For the first time that night, Damien felt something inside him relax. Not because the situation was good, but because he finally understood why his instincts had screamed danger. You saved me, he whispered. No, she corrected gently. My mother did. I'm just the delivery girl. But he shook his head. You carried this through the city in a storm, barged into my office, and told the truth no one else dared to. That's more courage than I've seen in years. Lena shrugged awkwardly. I didn't think you'd listen. Damien gave a dry laugh. I listen to anyone who speaks with conviction. Even a delivery girl. She blushed but straightened her shoulders. Then there's more. He raised an eyebrow. More. She pulled out a second set of papers. My mother predicted one more risk. Look at the assets column. They're inflated by nearly 40%. Inventory numbers don't match warehouse reports. Someone's painting a fake picture of solvency. Damien stared at her. Your mother is brilliant. She is, Lena whispered. But she's never been promoted. She just works quietly, hoping one day someone notices. He studied Lena for a long moment. Her jacket was soaked, her knuckles red from the cold, yet she spoke with unbelievable calm. She reminded him of himself years ago, hungry, determined, unnoticed. Why didn't your mother deliver this herself? Damien finally asked. Lena's voice cracked. She doesn't know if she'll even wake up tomorrow. She collapsed from exhaustion. The doctors are keeping her sedated. A silence fell over the room. Damien stood abruptly and took out his phone. Get me the board. The acquisition is cancelled. And schedule an internal audit. I want every one of Latticecorp's executives monitored. He hung up and turned to Lena. I owe your mother my company, he said. And I owe you, more than a thank you. She shook her head quickly. You owe me nothing. I just did what she asked. He smiled faintly. You barged past security to save a stranger. That isn't nothing. Lena bit her lip. I was terrified. Courage isn't lack of fear, Damien said. It's acting despite it. Her eyes softened, and for the first time, she allowed herself a small smile. Damien glanced at the documents again. Your mother deserves recognition. And you, what do you do, besides deliveries? Lena hesitated. I used to study accounting. I dropped out when we couldn't afford tuition. He nodded slowly. Would you like to finish? She blinked. What? You clearly have the mind for it. And I invest in talent. Lena's voice trembled. Are you offering a scholarship? I'm offering a place in my company, he said gently. Start anywhere you like. Learn from the best. And when your mother recovers, I'll make sure she finally receives the promotion she earned years ago. Lena covered her mouth, tears spilling. Mr. Hart, I don't know what to say. Say you'll join us. She laughed through her tears. Yes, of course. He handed her a handkerchief, a rare softness crossing his usually stoic face. You know, Damien murmured, tonight, 15 accountants failed. But a delivery girl saved a multi-million-dollar empire. Lena looked up at him, cheeks still wet, eyes glowing with pride. I just did what was right. And that, Damien said quietly, is the kind of person I want beside me. Outside, the rain continued to fall, but inside that bright, cold office, a new story began, one of courage, truth, and two lives destined to intertwine. The millionaire who trusted no one, and the poor delivery girl who walked into his storm and handed him the truth he'd been searching for. And it all started with 4 simple words. Don't sign this.